Broadcasting from Cincinnati, you're listening to the Ringside Reporter Podcast. All the news from the world of boxing right here.
Well, I'm talking to you the way I want to talk to you.
Now, here's your host, Eric Lorda.
And we are live Monday at about 9:15 p.m. with breaking news. And the breaking news today is that we knew that the arbitration decision for Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury was going to be today. Turns out the arbitration came down and the judge said there must be a third fight. So Deontay Wilder has won the arbitration. That means that he has ordered a third fight by September 15th. So basically what this means is that fight with Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury now has another hurdle. If it wasn't, they had a bunch of hurdles to begin with the Saudi government, with there's just a ton of stuff. Money being in the right place at the right time. Now they have another one. This is a pretty big matzo ball here with Deontay Wilder, being guaranteed a fight by the 15th. So, there's a couple ways we can look at this here. There's a couple of options Deontay Wilder has. Number one, he can go through with the fight on September 15th. Okay. Number two is that he can fight a tune-up fight and be guaranteed a shot at Fury. Because I don't know that he can really be guaranteed a shot at the winner because Bob Arum doesn't promote the winner. Anthony Joshua has nothing to do with it. So he can, fight a tune-up fight, take some step-aside money, something like that, or just take some step-aside money and, try to go his own way afterwards. But I don't know where this goes. I'll be honest with you. This is a big hurdle now. This is not a small thing. This is a big hurdle, especially, the other, I'll tell you what, the other option he has is just to say, screw it. Fury can just say, screw it. I'm not fighting him. I'm going to fight this thing. I'm going to fight Anthony Joshua. And let me tell you why that's not really the best option for him. Number one is they'll get sued. Both the promoters will get sued. So that's not going to happen. He would be in breach of contract. It would be a nightmare if he went ahead with this and just ignored this. So that can't happen. So really, I tell you what, they're kind of at the mercy of Deontay Wilder and his camp right now, deciding what to do. So I'll be honest with you, if I'm Wilder, I look for step-aside money. Because if you can guarantee me a shot at Tyson Fury next, but you can't, I don't know how that even works because they signed a rematch clause in there. So the whole thing is a little iffy. But if I'm Wilder, I don't know that I'm really ready to come back and fight Tyson Fury. I don't know if that fight is a very marketable fight right now. Beeb, you're shaking your head.
Yeah,
you think that you think that's a competitive, marketable fight?
People talk about this whole step-aside money thing, but no one's paying big dollars for step-aside money. Like it's not going to equal the amount you could make in a fight. It's no way even.
No. I don't think so.
It's not really it's
the
not
way. I'll tell you the way it usually goes is that you get the step aside money and then you're guaranteed the shot next time around.
When was the last time that ever happened though? It's tough. It's tough to get a deal like that. Really is.
Well, it's almost impossible in this scenario because he can sign the contract and get step aside money and say, if the winner, if Tyson Fury is the winner, I'll get the next shot at him. But he really can't do that because the contract's already been signed. So he's just going to be taking step-aside money.
First of all,
to forget this whole thing.
First of all, the problem with this whole thing is this. Bob Arum really didn't want this in my opinion, didn't want this Joshua fight from what I've been hearing. Because if you really think about this, okay, if he does this fight with Wilder, right? He gets to do it in the United States. He doesn't have to deal with another promoter. I mean, he has to deal with Heyman, but again, he'll be the lead promoter here because Heyman's not a promoter; he's an advisor. So he'll be the lead promoter. He'll be running the whole thing. That's number one. Fury will be the A side. That's number two. Vegas will be fully open in June 1st. So they could put this fight in Vegas. They could sell out whatever arena they decide to put this in Vegas, because this is the thing. The people in Vegas right now are chomping at the bit to have a big event. You know, what else? What does Vegas? What does Vegas have? Vegas doesn't really have, like, what do they have? Do they have what pro sports do they have? They have no pro sports with it.
No. They have hockey.
No, they have a hockey team. They have
hockey team. What else? The hockey team. The Raiders now are in Las Vegas, but they haven't played there. I don't believe they've played there.
So,
so Vegas, I mean, they've got about 3 sports teams, or 2 sports teams, two big name teams.
Vegas is due for a big event. They really are.
Yeah.
And to be perfectly honest with you, if you're Tyson Fury and you're Tyson Fury's team, you're saying to yourself, you know what? You've been off a long time, but so is Deontay Wilder. And he's coming off an injury. And you already beat him twice, in our opinion. You got this guy's number.
Yeah.
This fight's got a lot of drama behind it because of all the controversy that took place in the months leading, the months after the fight, right? Deontay Wilder's made a name for himself here in America. He's kind of known now, right? He's been talked about a lot, right? Deontay Wilder's a good talker. This fight could actually be more lucrative than people think, and it could be, it could generate a lot of money. The second fight, generated a lot of revenue. It did 800,000 pay-per-view buys. Now people are saying, well, that's not going to do that much. The third fight. Well, no one thought it was going to do 800,000 the second fight. Everyone was saying that it would do 300,000. So if this fight does 500,000 pay-per-view buys and they sell out of an arena in Vegas or a stadium in Vegas, this could be a very lucrative fight. And Bob Arum pretty much gets to keep all the money in house. He doesn't have to share anything with another promoter. So
yeah, because PBC and Wilder don't really have a promoter. You know what I mean? Who are they going to put up as a promoter? There is
Wilder doesn't have, so Bob loves in-house fights. That's number one. And number two, what has Bob been saying all along? We can't do Wilder Fury 3 without a live audience to get these guys the money they need. So this is the thing. I just think that Bob wanted this all along, to be perfectly honest with you. And you could say, well, that's a stretch. I mean, why would you say that? Because he kept saying that he wanted this fight to be in front of a live audience. So now he's kind of, people are like, well, why is he changing his tune now about Joshua Fury all of a sudden? I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. I think all 3 promoters that were involved in this whole event were taking the fans for a long ride, and they should be ashamed of themselves, because Eddie Hearn knew that he could not promise this fight, but he still did it. And you know why he did that? Because if the fight did not happen, you know what he could have said? It's their fault. And then Arum has a ace in the hole here, because if the fight doesn't happen, you know what he could say? It's not my fault. The arbitrator made the decision. And Frank Warren all along was holding true to his word that he wasn't 100% sure the fight could happen anyway. There's only one person here that promised the public the fight was going to happen, and that was Eddie Hearn. Now, I think everyone's equally to blame here, because I think even Fury yesterday, he wasn't sure the fight was going to happen. He probably knew the fight may not have happened either, but he went on the internet and he trolled everybody, which and it's so ironic that everyone wants to believe Fury when he says something that they like, but a lot of times he says things they don't like. Oh, you can't trust Fury. He's a bullshit artist. He never tells the truth. He says one thing one day and another thing the other day. So to be perfectly honest with you, this third fight is not bad for Bob Arum. It's not bad for Tyson Fury, because Tyson Fury will be in there with a guy has been off just as long as he has, who's coming off an injury, who he's already beaten before. And he probably has the guy's number, in my opinion. And, it's going to be in Vegas, right? He's going to be the A side. He's going to get 60% of the pot, according to the stipulation in the contract. So, and then he could fight in September. So who really wants to go to Saudi Arabia in August in 130-degree heat, in a stadium where there's not going to be able to put people in there. They say they're going to put up all this money and this and that, but I just think Arum knew. I just think Arum knew all along this fight was not going to happen, because he was saying it all along. Oh, it's dead in the water, blah blah blah. But now he's just trying to put a happy face on it now, so he doesn't look like the bad guy. In other words, in my opinion, I don't think he was really hell bent on getting this fight, at least not at this particular time. And this is what I've been saying all along. It's just my opinion. It can, it's not gospel, but from what I've heard over there and people I've talked to over there, they just don't seem very enthusiastic. They didn't seem very enthusiastic about putting this fight together at all, to be perfectly honest with you.
Callie King, thank you so much. He said, listen to Beeb, and absolutely we do. Let me pose this for you, Beeb. We both said that Deontay Wilder has been off a long time. That
Correct.
being said, so is Tyson Fury. That's the last guy he fought. They both fought each other. So back in 2020. So
this is a better situation for Fury because he's fighting a guy that's been off just as long as him, coming off an injury. A guy that he's got his number. And again, I believe he's got his number too. I mean, that's what I believe anyway. So this is an easy 25 million for Fury. If you ask me for my opinion on it. So why not pick up an easy 25 million and then essentially get an easier fight, right? And now you'll have a fight under your belt to go into a potential Joshua fight next year, or maybe the end of the year.
Yeah. Do you think Wilder does go ahead with this? I mean, he was rumored to fight what's his face, Charles Martin. That's tune-up fight. Smoke screen.
He always wanted this fight. Why have other PBC heavyweights fought except like this Brazil? I think Brazil fought Otto Wallin. The Polish guy they have over there, Konaki, he fought. Ruiz fought. Areola fought. All these other guys, Charles Martin had a fight. All these other PBC heavyweights got a fight. There's only one that was waiting in the wings. It's no coincidence that he's been on the shelf this long, because they were waiting for this. They were both waiting. Both sides were waiting for this fight, in my opinion. And I think when Hearns was asked a lot of questions, he just didn't answer them. Like, oh, what about the arbitration? And then he was like, well, that's for them to worry about. No, that's for you to worry about too, because that's a roadblock to this fight. Well, what about?
And that's on your watch. I mean, you know what I'm saying? That's on your watch. You're the one.
Due diligence.
Arum is the one that, hey, listen, you're the guy, you're the promoter, you're the one that walked away from this and started negotiating with AJ. Okay, because you said he ran out of time or whatever. Listen, man, I mean, this does fall on Arum. I mean, he does have to bear some responsibility in this. In fact, he has to bear a lot of responsibility.
All of them do, but Hearn should not have said with 100% certainty that this fight was going to happen.
Well, what does he know? I mean, really, like, what does he know? I mean, if I say, hey, can you sell me that car? And you say, yeah, I'm going to sell you the car. And you like, here's the car. And we're talking and everything like that. He doesn't know that there's a lien on that car.
Well, it's just like,
supposed to know that.
Well,
he has to trust Arum. He has to trust whoever is in front of him.
You don't trust anybody in this business. That's the problem.
Well, in order to do business, there's got to be some level of trust.
That's why you have
trust.
That's called doing your due diligence. Like if someone's if you're a manager of a company and you're interviewing somebody and you ask them, do you have a criminal record? They say no. Are you just gonna not run a Corey check on them, or are you gonna run a Corey check on them?
Well, you have to run a check on them.
So why would you have an arbitration looming over your head and you're not going to sit there and say, it's just because Bob Arum says it's not going to be a problem? Nobody knew what the results of that arbitration was going to be. So for Eddie Hearn to be naive to think that could not have an effect on this fight, because this is the thing. I knew, I was like 99.9% sure, and you can say, Beeb, fuck you, you're full of shit, I don't believe you. I was 99% sure that he was going to win the arbitration case, and I'll tell you why. Because Arum kept saying time after time, on camera, on tape with me, We can't do that fight without a live crowd. And then he goes on and he says, well, the contract expired in October. But even with that, you still scheduled a fight for December. And you scrapped it because you couldn't get a live crowd. So the arbitrator's sitting there saying, well, all these other fights are going on. Why couldn't this fight go on? It was your decision, Top Rank, to not have this fight go on because your excuse of not wanting to put it in front of a live crowd. Why did you have all your other events then? So they had a weak case, and they all agreed that they were going to abide by what the arbitrator said. That was part of the agreement as well. When all parties agree to go arbitration, part of the process, you have to agree to follow what the arbiter says. You have to do that because you sign documents. You sign documents.
It's breach. It's a breach of contract if you don't. You have to.
So all this stuff, Deontay Wilder's going to go in there with. Well, they scheduled a fight for December, and then they pulled the plug on it because they wanted it in front of a live crowd. I never had any problem fighting him. This is his defense. I never had any problem fighting him in the bubble like other fighters did when they did Lomachenko, Teofimo Lopez. I never said that I needed to fight in front of a live crowd. That was his decision. So because he refused to fight without there being a live crowd, then that's not my problem. And first of all, these are extenuating circumstances. There's a lot of issues that happened within this year and a half time frame. And the last thing on people's minds was boxing. And it was hard to put fights and schedule fights because no one was really fully open until when? When did they start? What did they put on the first live event? Was it March?
I don't know.
March,
I know June. What is it? June 2nd. Vegas is open up.
Yeah. So
Vegas opens up June 1st or June 2nd, somewhere in there.
So COVID is not Deontay Wilder's fault. It's not Deontay Wilder's fault.
No.
So he had and I said it right from the beginning, he had an extremely strong case. I'm going to be honest with you. I told you yesterday I thought that he was going to win the case on the text.
Yeah. You said that for a while now. You've been saying that for a while.
And it's not about me being right. I mean, I'm just saying,
right.
With all these things looming in the background, you had one guy. It's definitely going to happen. It's like that's not right. It's not right. I never believed him, but there's a lot of people that did believe him. I was on a podcast today with Rafael Dawkins. Rafael Dawkins was practically in tears, man. He was practically in tears because this fight's not happening, undisputed. He was devastated.
Let's touch on something real quick. You said that Arum had talked about not having the fight. He didn't want to do the fight, but it had to be. He wanted to do the fight, but it had to be in front of a live crowd.
Adamant.
The reason, and just so you guys know, that the reason they want the live crowd there is for the gate. They have to, in order to pay these guys what they need to get paid to get this fight going, they have to have a live crowd. That's why Arum and all the promoters are so adamant that fights like this need a live audience.
$17 million live gate they had in the second fight.
Callie King says, does anybody think Wilder will take step aside? I'll explain to you the problem with the step aside. The problem with the step aside is that they're either gonna buy out this contract, buy out this arbitration, basically, or because he can't say the winner, Wilder gets the winner. You can't do that, because if Anthony Joshua wins, Anthony Joshua's got nothing to say about this. Okay, they would have to go back, redo the contract, okay? And then it just doesn't make sense. Instead of, they have to take the rematch out of the contract, and then everything is going to get skewed. That's almost, that would be a tough sell for anybody, especially for a guy who has nothing to do with this, and that would be Anthony Joshua. So does he take step-aside money? I don't know. Do they buy out his contract? Is that an option? Do they buy out the arbitration? Is that an option? I don't know. Do they sweeten the deal for him? I don't know.
I have an extremely hard time seeing it any other way than they fight in September. I just don't see how they could not fight in September.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's kind of looking that way now because that's a pretty big. If you look at it logically, okay, if we just look at this logically, he's won the arbitration, unless he's looking to cash himself out. Which I don't know that he's. I mean, he's putting up training videos now, so I don't know that he's really looking to cash out. So this is. It looks like this fight actually may happen, much to the chagrin of most of us. I mean, I don't want to see it. I don't think it's a worthy fight. Listen. What is? I mean, let's be honest here. And Savage Native said, "Who wins the third fight?" Well, who won the first two? The first two were blowouts. These fights were not even close. They were not even close.
Here's the difference between this scenario and the AJ Ruiz scenario. And let's be objective here. Joshua won rounds against Ruiz, and he knocked Ruiz down. And
yes,
he was. I think he was up on. Was he up on the cards?
You can argue that he was winning the fight, or it was a competitive fight until he got clipped.
Yeah. So
and then he was hurt, and then so the second fight coming in, you didn't know what you were going to get. You didn't know what you were going to get.
Now, if I was to give you my scorecards for those, what did they fight? Wilder and Fury. Wow, they fought 12 and 7. They fought 19 rounds. Mm-hmm. Out of those 19 rounds, I think I gave Wilder maybe 3 of them. Right?
Two or three.
2 or 3
at the most. 3.
I think I gave. Most. So they fought 19 rounds of boxing,
and Tyson won 16 of them.
And Tyson won 16 of it, in my opinion.
My opinion too.
That's why it's hard to kind of compare the two. But again, they did have a rematch clause. They didn't. The rematch clause expired because Arum kept delaying it because he kept saying we need to put it in front of a live crowd. And then he just tried to put the kibosh on it.
Yeah.
So,
Wheelchair Man John said anything can happen in the heavyweight division, Eric. I agree with you. Listen, anything can happen anytime. When two guys put gloves on and they're throwing hands at each other, anything can happen. I don't care what the skill level is. Anything can happen. Okay. That being said, we got to, if we're looking at this logically and I'm handicapping a fight, who would you bet on?
Got to pick.
You know
Fury.
what I mean? I mean, big time. Yeah.
But I'm going to play manager here, and it's not my job to play manager because the fan in me is like,
what we want to do here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. The fan in me is going to say, Fury, Joshua is the better fight because I think Fury will win, but I've seen Fury already beat Wilder handily, at least
twice.
At least I could say that Fury will win, but he has to go out there and do it. And a lot of people don't agree with me. So there's that element of the unknown there. There isn't much element of unknown with this. So as a fan, I want to see that. But if I'm managing Fury, this is what I'm saying. You've been off a long time. But he's been off a long time, just as long as you, right? He's coming off an injury, okay? He's getting older. He's not getting any better, okay? This fight is going to be the biggest fight of the year if you fight this guy. You could argue that Wilder, if Fury Joshua doesn't happen, the next biggest fight of the year will be Wilder versus Fury. So you could still make a ton of money here. Okay, you could fight in beautiful Las Vegas, the place where you bought a home, and he bought a house in Vegas now. You could have a fight in your adopted hometown, home away from home, an easier fight against the guy who's been off just as long as you. Okay, this is a great comeback fight for you. You already got this guy's number. Let's take this easy 25, 30 million to the bank and worry about AJ another time. If I'm his manager, I'm probably going to take the Wilder fight at this point because he's been off so long. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Cut West says the LBDC wins again. What? Are they getting money from Wilder's contract? I wasn't aware of that. That's great. They're getting money from Wilder's contract. Maestro's in the chat. He says, whatever profit Top Rank is making is making on this fight should be used to pay off Wilder. This is all on Arum. He is 100%. This is entirely on Arum. Nobody else. His people. That's his people. And so unless they have a bombshell to drop at the 0 hour, can they appeal? I don't know if you can appeal arbitration or not. I imagine that there's some legal precedent to do so. I don't know.
Again, these people that don't know how to add arithmetic, they did 800,000 pay-per-view buys times 80. That's $64 million plus $17 million for the live gate. And then we're not even adding in the UK pay-per-view revenue. It was a $90 million fight.
He said they barely got 1 million pay-per-view buys.
We don't have to do
1 million is a huge number. 1 million is a huge pay-per-view number.
We don't need to do 1 million pay-per-view buys here for the fight to be big. We don't need to sell out $90,000 stadiums when the ringside seats in Vegas are anywhere from $8,000 to $5,000 a seat. It's again, the UK people don't. I don't know, man. I'm the UK's adopted son. When I go to my flat in the UK, I have a calculator there. I know how to add. I don't know why these other people don't have calculators in their house. I just don't understand. I don't understand it. When it was the highest grossing fight of the year. That second fight with Wilder and Fury. This misconception that you have to do a million pay-per-views cost $80.
Yeah, this one's going to cost 80 to 100. Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, again, sure. they don't have to do 1 million pay-per-view buys.
What is going on at Top Rank? I mean, let's think about this for a minute here.
Andre, buy a calculator. Buy a calculator.
I know that whatchamacallit, we look at Terrence Crawford, we look at guys like that, what is going on over there? It's like they don't promote anybody. I mean, and dropping the ball on this is a big deal. This is a big deal. I don't get it, man. I really don't understand it, man.
It's ridiculous.
I mean, and this has got to be all on Top Rank, and you can put it on Bob Arum, but the fact is Bob Arum didn't. You know what I'm saying? Like Bob Arum, how involved is he? It's Todd DeBuff who's involved over there. I mean, how involved is he in, you know what I mean? It's his lawyers, it's everything else. Somebody over there dropped the ball, and somebody over there continues to drop the ball. If I'm Bob Arum, I'm firing somebody tomorrow. No question.
Got to do it.
I mean, really.
But again,
somebody's
Eric,
gone.
I don't think Bob really gives a fuck. Because what
did he get? Okay, so let me ask you this. So 150 million for the site fee. We're talking to AJ Joshua here. It was confirmed by Arum today, earlier on in an interview, that the site fee was about 155 million is what I sent you last night.
And that's without the television rights too. That
right. So how much do you think each fighter was going to get?
Plus the pay-per-view too over here in the United States. And wow.
80 million? 80? 50 million, right? Can we do 50 million?
What did they get? What did Fury and Wilder get for? I think they got 28 million apiece when they fought.
Yeah.
Right.
And this is huge. This is way bigger than that fight. I mean, because you're talking about undisputed here.
But when you say $150 million, you got to. That's the fighters aren't going to get all that. You got to pay the undercards. The promoters are going to get their cuts.
I don't know where that was from. I don't know. I think, but was it Kriegel that posted that or something like that? And it said something like it was like X amount for the site fee, and they kind of broke it down a little bit. But I think Bob Arum probably makes more money with the Fury AJ fight. No,
again,
he makes more money and he's not promoting it.
They just don't understand these people just don't understand that it's not how much the site fee is. It's how much of that site fee you get. Arum's got to divide that site fee. There's three promoters involved here. You just don't people just don't get it.
Is there three promoters? Because I know because look at Cambosos and Lopez, when they fight, they're fighting on Triller. Arum's not doing anything for it. He's not lifting a finger for that.
But
fight.
he's getting his percentage.
Right. He's getting his percentage from the fighter.
That's right.
Right.
That's right.
Now, wouldn't he get more money as a percentage from his fighter with this on the line? I mean, you're talking a lot of money here. Wouldn't he get, because what is he getting? 10%? I think that's what they said, or something like that.
I don't know his
Let's just say 10%. Let's just say 10%. All right. Would he do more business? He would do more business with AJ Fury, right?
You would have to think that he would, but
I would think that he would.
So
obviously he doesn't want that fight to go by the wayside. But this isn't a bad thing too.
I think it's a better scenario for him because he knows that Fury's going to beat Wilder. He may not know if Fury can beat Joshua. I mean, I don't know. I mean, this whole side fee thing, I don't know how that's going to get divvied up, how that how that affects what the fighters get. I don't know how that get. I only know how it's done when it's pay-per-view and it's a live gate. This whole site fee thing, there's going to be TV deals involved in it, so I don't know.
It's ridiculous. Yeah, there's a lot of money involved in it. But again, man, you got to keep going back to Arum on this. This was a bad screw up. And you got nobody to point to. You have nobody else to point to on this.
So you blame Arum the most, right? That's your stance.
100%.
Because of the arbitration, correct?
Yep.
Now, don't you think Hearn should have known that this arbitration was going on too, though? And he should have.
Listen, Hearn can't, and I'm going to defend Hearn here a little bit but yeah, he does have some, he should have said, but my guess is that Bob says, "Oh yeah, we're doing it. We're gonna get through this. Blah blah blah. Nothing to worry about. Keep going. Go forward with it."
Yeah.
So he goes forward with it, and then this happens. But I mean, listen, man, Eddie's been trying to reserve the site. He's got his plate full. Yeah. He's got to put on undercard. He's got to find the site fee. He's got to get the site. He's got to get where this fight in the world is going to be.
But I just would not have been as optimistic if I knew the arbitration was still going on. I just wouldn't have.
Well,
only one guy was coming out every week and promising the fight. He was doing all the talking. He should not have done that.
No, but here's the other thing too, is that, how long has this fight been talked about? Since what? December
of last year.
December of last year. And it's May. And you're just now putting the fight together, now finding out it's probably going to fall apart again. Dude, I mean, like, what in the world? Why did it take so long? Everybody's been dragging their feet on this. From Hearn to Arum to everybody has been dragging their feet on this.
I think everybody, I think everybody's screwed up here. I can't say, I can't say who's more wrong than the other, but if Bob tells Eddie that he's got the arbitration under control and it won't be a factor in this fight, you can't believe him though. You just can't. How could it not be an issue if the decision has not been made? If someone said that to me, I wouldn't feel comfortable with it. I wouldn't feel comfortable with it.
You got a point, because that's the other thing too, is that I'm thinking to myself, if there's an arbitration coming up, isn't this a pretty big, landmine here that this could happen?
I blame everybody, but it really bothered me that Eddie was saying every week that I promise you this fight will happen. I guarantee this fight will happen. And then he comes out and says, if this fight does not happen, I will take full responsibility for it. You guys can give me all the stick. I deserve it. So, Bob Arum, for him to say that the arbitration was not going to be a big problem, I could not take him at his word on that one. I just couldn't.
I was saying, you take any of these promoters at their word. I'll be honest with you. I don't even want to take sides there. I'm just going to say they all fucked up, to be honest. No one's hands are clean here. For sure. There's plenty of blame to go around here, and now we're going to get a fight. Instead of fighting for the undisputed heavyweight title, something we all want,
Yeah.
Instead of seeing this, we're going to see this debacle again.
Well,
we're going to see a guy who won 16 of the, and I'm going to be generous here and give him 16 of the 19 rounds that they fought. 16 of the 19 rounds they fought, and somehow we get to see this gem again. Are you serious? And there's people actually out there that want to see this fight. Why? We've seen it twice. How many times do you got to watch the same movie, man? It's over.
The only thing is like they did have a rematch clause. That's the thing. And it's not really Wilder's fault that it expired. It's not Wilder's fault it expired because he kept getting the runaround.
Yeah, no.
No.
Wilder is completely innocent in this.
If I want to be fair here, Wilder definitely deserves his rematch. Whether or not that doesn't mean I like the fight. I'm not saying that the fight's a good fight. I don't think it's going to be a good fight. That's just my opinion.
Either, yeah.
But in fairness, he deserves his rematch, in my opinion. I got to be honest. I can't say he's wrong. I can't say that he doesn't deserve it. You know?
No, you're listen, that's 100% correct. Listen, he deserves the fight. I don't want to see it again, but he deserves whatever he wants to do with this contract, whether he wants to fight again, to take a buyout, whatever he wants to do, he's earned that. Right?
Yeah.
And that's just the way it is.
Yeah.
We don't have to like it, but listen, man, we're not the ones who have to abide by the contract. But
this whole thing.
Cut West says that the same people that don't want to see Wilder Fury 3 are the same ones foaming at the mouth for Canelo Triple G to be announced. 100% wrong. 100% wrong. I don't want to see that fight either. I've already seen it twice. I don't need to see that fight. I know what's going to happen at the third fight. I don't need to see that fight. Just like I know what's going to happen in this third fight. I don't need to see the fight. And I don't understand anybody who's watched those two fights and say, yeah, I need to see it again. Either of them, Triple G or this one, the Fury Wilder. Anybody who's seen these two fights, what exactly unanswered questions do we have? The guy was knocked senseless in the second fight. He wasn't competitive in either fight.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
You know what I mean?
I have to be honest with you, though. There's a lot of people who are interested in the third fight.
I don't get it. I mean, I'd rather watch Logan Paul fight than to see this fight again, man. I gotta be honest.
People keep shitting on Wilder, but he's never did this, he's never done that. He was involved in two big fights, his last two fights. He made some decent money, man. I mean, at least if he gets this one more payday, this will be a nice little swan song for him.
Chandler M says, what is the attraction to Saudis? Silent crowd, extreme weather changes, no alcohol, no home fan bases. I don't get it. Chandler M, you have until June 19th before you taste that pie in your face, son. And let me tell you what, you're going to pay up. You will pay up. One way or the other, you're going to pay up, son. We're going to watch you on video just taking the pie in your face. But to answer your question, why do they like Saudi? It's real simple. Money. They will pay you the most. Nobody else is going to pay $150 million to stage this fight. I'll tell you that. Not a chance. Okay? So, that's honestly, that's why they keep going back to Saudi, because of the money, man. The Saudis have a ton of money out there.
Yeah.
But, that's how... That's the reason. That's the big reason, man. It all boils down to money, because trust me, they would love to have this in the UK. They would love to have this. It actually belongs in the UK. Doesn't belong anywhere else in the world. Belongs in the UK. But, given COVID, given everything else, and, listen, even if COVID wasn't the case, Saudi Arabia would still be in the running for this thing because of the amount of money they offer. Huge.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man.
We'll see.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. It is it's crazy. It really is. JC says big drama show. It's It's absolutely a drama show. How many, let's talk about pay-per-view, because we know this is going to be on pay-per-view. As far as pay-per-view, do you think this is a hit? You think it's a miss?
I think it's 500,000.
You think so?
Well, look what we said last time. We said that I said it would do 500,000 last time. You said it would do 300, I think, or 250. The second fight. So it did 800,000 last time. You look at Spence Garcia. What did that do? Errol Spence versus Mikey Garcia. That did 400,000. That wasn't an exceptional fight. I think this does. I think it does 500,000 pay-per-view buys. Yeah,
I think they have to stack the undercard. No,
I think they will.
Yeah, I mean, Cali King wants to see this fight.
He likes Wilder.
Yeah,
that's fine.
Give him one more. Hey, listen, man, and I tell you what, I'm salty because I don't want to see the third fight. I really am. I don't want to see it at all. Obviously, it's been told. That being said,
you're not a rematch guy. You're not a rematch guy. You never were.
I'm really not. But that being said, going back to what we said earlier, Wilder's got a signed contract that says he's owed a rematch. And now he's got a judge, an arbitrator saying, hey, you owe him the rematch. So listen, man, hands down, you've earned the rematch. You know what I mean? I hope they buy him out. I hope they do. I'm not real confident that they do, though. That's for sure. Because again, he doesn't have anywhere to go after that because he can't fight. They can't promise him the winner. They've already got a double clause in there, a rematch clause. So,
if he goes through the fight and gets his share of the pay-per-view revenue, he made $28 million the last fight. He'll probably make 18 to 15 million this fight. It's not going to make sense to take a $3 million step. They're not going to give him $18 million. Where's that money going to come from? Who's going to give him that? Who's going to come out of their pocket for $18 million?
18 million. Yeah, who's going to come out of their pocket for that?
This whole it's just not going to happen, bro. We
had to talk about that before, and everybody talked about, I think these boxers are paid to take a dive. I think he took it. We've all heard this before. Oh, he took a dive. Great. What's his incentive to take a dive? Yeah. Well, he got paid. Great. But if he wins this fight, his next fight is going to be worth how much more? It's not financially worth it to him to take a dive. You know what I mean? Now, judges, what are they getting? $1,500 for big fights. All right. $1,500 or whatever they get, $1,000 or $1,500, which is still not a whole lot of money. They get that. So, but if I give a judge $50,000, maybe he's more inclined to say, okay, that's how you can, that's how that stuff goes down. But as far as a fighter taking it, and the same thing here, I mean, what are you going to offer Wilder? You know what I'm saying? As far as money goes, what are you going to offer Wilder? I don't know what you can, Wilder, Andre says too much ifs, Eric. What do you mean ifs? What does that mean? Too many ifs.
He's on something today, this guy, Andre.
Well, there's a lot of ifs in it. Well, I'll tell you what, Andres, the thing is, there's a lot of ifs because the news just came out and we're trying to, playbook scenarios here. And I tell you what, man, there is a lot of ifs here. There really is. We don't know what's going to happen, man.
Wilder Fury 3, September 15th. Just mark it on your calendar, guys. I'm just this it is. I mean,
there it is, man. Yep. Alex T says, thank you, Al Heyman and Shelly Finkel. Thank him for what? Thank you for what? Alex T, you really wanted to see a third fight with these guys? Come on, man. What unanswered questions does Alex T have? Cali King says, you owe me when Caleb Plant turns down the money on the Canelo fight, or owe me when Plant turns down the Canelo fight. Why do I owe you? What did I owe you? I didn't think we bet. What do I owe you for?
Yeah, but that's again, Eric's gonna be like, Beeb, you're killing everyone's friggin' self-esteem here. Everyone's You're killing everyone's mood here, but that fight ain't happening either. When you got a guy at Caleb Plant already saying, I got other options.
10 million. Did he say he wanted 10 million or something like that? Did he come out with some dumb number?
No, they're gonna offer him 10 million, right? You know what he's gonna do? He's gonna ask for 15. I'm just telling you.
I thought I read somewhere today that he was asking for 10 million for the fight.
I heard he wanted 15.
I heard the Plant was asking for 10 million. That's what I heard, which is reasonable. I think that's reasonable.
I don't have a problem with him getting 10 million. Not at all.
I think that's reasonable.
I don't have a problem at all.
A third clears up any question. What questions? What questions? He lost both fights, and he lost them convincingly. What questions you still got, man? Come on.
When I hear Caleb Plant say things like, I don't need Canelo to define my legacy.
He's getting more money.
I got plenty of options out there. I'm not going to take what the other guys got. The other guys got sold out. Automatically, he's sounding like he doesn't want to fight. I hope I'm wrong, but once someone already starts, I never heard Saunders say those things. I wasn't hearing Caleb Plant saying those things. Not Caleb Plant. Callum Smith saying those things. I didn't hear Sergey Kovalev saying those things. I didn't hear Golovkin saying those things.
None of them really had options.
You know,
except for maybe Golovkin.
What does Plant have? What does Plant have?
I don't think he has a bunch of options in front of him. I got to be honest.
Yeah.
What happened with Jamal Charlo? What is he talking about? The death at his house or something like that? Did you hear about this?
Never heard about this. No.
I never heard about this. What are you talking about, Chandler M?
Don't just leave.
He's on that stuff again. Yeah, he's on stuff again.
Like explain what you're saying.
Yeah, what are you talking about? Tony Yayo says Kovalev got 12 million.
Whatever he got.
Yeah, he's gonna find that story real quick.
He's gonna ask for 15. I know he's gonna try to price himself out.
Chandler M said he heard somebody got shot in his recording studio.
Call in, Chandler M.
He can't.
Oh, he can't. Okay. I saw you post a number. I don't know why you posted the number.
That's what I do. I didn't feel like changing the banner. I'm lazy.
You do what you want. You're the producer.
I don't see anything about anybody getting shot at this dude's house, man. What are you doing?
Oh my God. I heard someone got shot in his recording studio. Yeah, okay. You guys are killing me. You been hanging out with Mike Carpenter again?
Plant got paid $800,000 the last fight. Alex T says, man, Team Wilder's legit. Boy, you ain't lying. He said Bob couldn't run the rough shot through their contract. You ain't lying. I'll tell you what. Who's got a better set of lawyers, OJ or Deontay Wilder?
He had a good case. I said it all along. I mean, I just think he had a good case. You can't keep telling the guy, oh, we're waiting for a live crowd, Oh, you scheduled the fight 3 times and then you postpone it 3 times.
Yeah, what do the Charlos do in the recording studio? I didn't know they were musicians.
I think they rap or something. I don't know. I don't know what the fuck they do. He's got like a YouTube channel, Jamel Charlo, and he's like I don't know, he's showing people all his house and stuff.
Jamel Charlo, cribs.
I don't know if I'd want to put all that information on YouTube. Have people look at my house and stuff. Then one day I wake up in the morning and I see all these people on my front lawn and shit.
I know. And then you got like crazies on YouTube like Cali King, you know. I mean, he's always looking at stuff, and you know, you never know when that guy's going to show up on your lawn trying to be your friend and stuff like that. He doesn't even pay off bets, you know.
Come on, Eric, stop slandering the guy.
What I do?
He paid Jesse fair and square. It's already been documented.
Yeah, like 6 weeks later.
Enough, Eric, please.
It took him like 6 weeks to come up with how much money?
Stop hating, Eric. Stop hating. Such a hater, man. Ever since you took that pie to the face, man, you've never been the same.
I know. I tell you what. Kelly says, I never liked Wilder. I interviewed Wilder. I love Wilder, man. I really do. I like him. He's a great guy.
He hates really Wilder. He hates Wilder. He has a dartboard in his house. He has a dartboard in his house. You do. You have a dartboard. You have a dartboard at your house with Wilder's face on it. I know you do.
I've got Wilder's poster on the wall over here.
No, you don't.
Wilder versus Fury. Yeah.
No, you don't.
I do. Got him over here.
No, you don't.
You think Wilder wears that same 50-pound suit when he comes to the ring?
I think Wilder's going to come down the ring in the ring entrance for the third fight in a ninja suit.
Lightweight.
Maybe a ninja suit.
Lightweight.
He's going to come down like Mike Tyson with just a towel around his neck.
That's how he always should have came out, man.
No robe,
yep.
Towel around his neck, man.
Because he was just knocking people wild, boy.
No socks, nothing. No towel, no socks, nothing.
Respect says he has posted a second Wilder Fury fight. I do. That's the one.
You guys who's blaming the wrong people? I mean, we blaming everybody, bro. I mean, everybody's complicit in this, bro, that was involved in this. This chat's out of control tonight, man. I don't know what's going on.
Who said that? Who said we're blaming the wrong people? Who do we blame?
Notorious VC. He's always on something.
Why sign a rematch calls? You guys are blaming the wrong people. Blame Fury, Arum, and Warren. We are. That's who we're blaming. We're blaming Arum. I'm blaming Arum. Savage Native says, anyone remember the Oscar De La Hoya CD of Mexican Rancheras? You know what? Ironically, my dad bought that CD. He bought it.
Does he still have it?
No, probably not.
Probably threw it in the trash.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
He bought the Oscar CD, son. I made fun of him too. Not to his face, though.
Yeah, Bob's never going to Saudi, man. There's no way.
Why?
That's the guy. That's what he said in the chat. This guy said Bob is 1,000% never ever going to Saudi.
Well, what's wrong with Saudi?
Because he's had so many issues dealing with those people in that part of the world, man. Like so many times they've said they're going to stage fights and stuff.
It just happened again with the Pac-Man Crawford fight.
That's right. So he did not.
It just happened. Yeah.
He doesn't have a good feeling about them. I would imagine.
Somebody earlier said, do you think because Arum's Jewish, he doesn't want to deal with the Saudis? No, I don't think it has anything to do with that. I'll be honest with you.
I'm not gonna go as far as to say that.
No, I don't think that at all. Because I mean, listen, man, he's a businessman. If there's money to be made, there's money to be made. You know, I don't think that's that kind of thing. There's people blaming Wilder for the arbitration decision to say, what? Who's doing that? Let me tell you what, anybody blaming Wilder for the arbitration is a moron. They really are. He did what he was supposed to do, and he won fair and square. What are you going to say? You know, I hate the fact that he won, but he won. You know, so now we get a substandard fight. You know, we probably get that third fight, which is, subpar at best. So who loses? We do. We lose.
Well, what if
blocking
Fury
the undisputed fight? It didn't block anything. They blocked it. You signed the contract, you lost. You went to court, you lost. No, nobody. Listen, man, nobody in this whole thing should be blaming Wilder. Plenty of blame to go around. Oh, wow. Some bombs just been dropped. Wow.
Stop taking shots. Stop taking shots at the GOAT.
Wow.
You don't take. Oh, shout out to Jesse Rica, man.
Why?
Because he's doing PR work for me behind the scenes. He helped me. He got me that Demetrius Andre interview.
He's doing PR work for you behind the scenes.
Yeah, I got to give him a shout out.
You got to get a new PR man. I tell you that.
Eric, he's on the staff. You can't be taking shots at people on the staff. That's why Lois writ you up last time for your human resources issues. Can't be bad mouthing other employees that are on the staff. Come on.
I didn't say nothing.
He's on the staff. You can't be bad.
That's what I said. I told you he was on the staff.
Okay. They cut people some slack here. Come on.
That's what I did. Dan the Man says, he said people actually believe in this. It's crazy. It is amazing.
The LDBC.
Then he believes. That's wild. Can you imagine? They must be going bonkers right now.
78 right now is probably painting his
78 is probably sitting there on cam with a big glob of Vaseline in his hand, just getting ready to go to work talking about Deontay Wilder. You know what I'm saying?
78 is painting his ceiling right now.
Oh, Wilder, I can't believe he did it. He did it.
They're going crazy. Boxing Ego, all of them, they're going nuts.
Or what's that? The weirdo's name? The one who
Blue
lives
Blood.
in the Philippines or whatever. Doesn't he live in the
Oh,
Philippines, or what I'm talking about, the nation, boxing?
oh, Dante's
Yeah, the
Boxing
weird
Nation,
guy.
the
Yeah,
conspiracy theorist.
God, that guy's a weirdo, right?
Oh, he's off the chain, man.
Yeah.
He's got all these friggin' conspiracy theories. Some of the words he comes up with too, like the complexion for protection. He says when when certain fighters don't fight the fighters he wants. Well, these guys got the complexion for the protection.
Got the right complexion to get the connection. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Dante.
Alex T says we don't lose. Alex T says we don't lose. If Fury wins, he still gets a Joshua fight. We now have 2 mega fights in the planning. No, we don't have 2 mega fights in the planning, son. Yes, we all lose. I'm gonna tell you why we all lose, because we know how this fight goes.
You don't know.
We've
Eric.
seen it twice, son.
You don't have a crystal ball, Eric. You don't know.
Anything
Can happen. It's heavyweight boxing.
100%. Listen,
it's heavyweight
man,
boxing, Eric. Come on.
I don't know that the sun isn't going to turn into a bran muffin tomorrow. But after getting up for 40 some odd years, I know what I know. You know what I mean?
It is a horrible analogy. That was the worst analogy ever.
I think I've heard a lot worse from you.
How could the sun ever turn into a bran muffin?
That's my point. Boom. Mic drop. I can't drop it because it's.
I've never heard a sun and a bran muffin ever mentioned in the same sentence.
You know why?
From Boston.
That's why.
Jesus Christ.
That's why, son. Dan the Man, apparently he's got his own boxing channel. He said he's going to go live in a little while here, so maybe you guys check that out too. When you're done here, hop over there and check him out, man. Let's see what else is going on. Ramirez Taylor. We already talked about Ramirez Taylor. We talked about it on the last show.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one.
Yeah, that's going to be a good fight now.
I was talking to EJ Boxing Live yesterday, and he said something, and I agree with him 100%. I don't know if you know this. Ben Davidson is Josh Taylor's trainer.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not crazy about Ben Davidson as a trainer.
Why?
I think he's he's too defensive minded as a trainer. Do you remember the first Fury fight with Wilder, and Freddie Roach was complaining too. He's like, I like Ben, but I think he had the wrong game plan for that fight. I don't think he's that good of a trainer, to be honest with you.
Oh,
same thing with Bill when he he was in Billy Joe Saunders' corner. He's got it's like the Ben Davidson jinx. When Ben Davidson
I think Billy Joe Saunders did pretty well in that fight. I think he did pretty well. I mean, he got caught, but he did pretty well. You know.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Ben Davidson in the corner, to be honest with you.
Oh, it's terrible.
I don't like him.
He's done nothing to you, and you're just dumping on him.
Well, we just got to judge his performance. He's not the greatest.
We just got to judge his performance.
We're not here to analyze people's personalities, or if they're good people or not. You know, you can't walk into a job interview and then, hey, you have any experience? No, but I'm a great person. You want to hire me? This doesn't how it work in the real world, Eric. You know, Beeb's gonna hit you with the truth bombs.
Glenn Hall says, hey, I'm just seeing this. Does he have to fight him next by 9:15? The contract says yes. Yeah, basically the contract said, the arbitration said he's got to fight him by 9:15. Now, there's a lot of ifs in that scenario, okay? Wilder could take a buyout. He could take step. He could do it. There's a billion different things that could happen in the next week. What'll happen? No idea. But that's what they ruled. So as of right now, if you're going to take it for face value, that fight with Fury is off. And then he's going to fight, or the fight with Joshua is off, and it's going to be Wilder Fury. But we don't know. We don't know.
Well, I just want all the people that were calling me a hater and telling me that I just didn't want the fight to happen, and everyone that was insulting me, I need an apology. You can send it to my email address if you'd like, jhabib1@hotmail.com. I want an apology from all you guys. All you guys.
Apologize to him.
All you guys taking shots at me, insulting me. I want an apology.
He was insulting him too. I've seen it. I've seen it with my own two eyes.
I want an apology out of you guys.
Say it. Alex T says, Eric, you're a sadist and a pessimist. I agree too. I am. He said that the trilogy was the right outcome based on the outcome. I agree with that. I agree. Like I said, I mean, Wilder did absolutely nothing wrong in this scenario. He did everything right. He had a great team behind him, a great team of lawyers, and they got us to fight. The real losers are going to be us, you know? Yeah, Beeb's still using Hotmail. Jesus.
I have a Gmail too, but I like the Hotmail. I'm old school. I had that Hotmail since I was.
He's got a Prodigy account. Beeb's got a Prodigy account.
I had that email. I had that. Well, it's actually Outlook now, right?
Beeb's still on BBS. I'm
Hotmail,
on Outlook.
No, but
Outlook is
Outlook is Outlook now. It's you can't when you have to go to Outlook.com to access the Hotmail now. Outlook bought out Hotmail, so I'm not really Hotmail, to be honest. If you want to get technical, I'm Outlook.
Is your address Hotmail?
It says Hotmail on it though.
Then you're Hotmail, right?
But when I log in, it says Outlook on it.
Right, but it still says Hotmail, right? Just saying.
Listen, stop nitpicking.
Mine is Outlook.com. Too sweet at Outlook.com, you know.
Oh, for Christ's sakes.
All right, guys, we're going to round it out here, man. Thanks for tuning in. And again, man, breaking news. What is today? Monday, right? Monday. Breaking news on Monday, Beeb. Yeah. Beeb, what's the rest of the week going to look like, baby? We're doing shows right on Monday. Broke right in, Beeb. Yeah. This is why you got to stay tuned. Hey, listen, if you like what we're doing, give us a thumbs up. You guys are cold-blooded for not giving us a thumbs up, man. Come on, man.
Here's another scenario.
Dude.
Here's another scenario. Does Fury just vacate the WBC belt and fight Joshua without it?
No, he can't. The money's not in the WBC belt.
That's right, because he still has to fight.
You know, I mean, he can
with or without the belt. He still has to fight.
Not to mention. Listen, the stipulation. I mean, you know, if you're AJ, you want the belt. You don't care who you're fighting for the belt. You want the belt.
Yeah.
The fight's for undisputed. Now that if it's not for undisputed, the price of that fight goes way down.
You're right.
The way it is, son.
You're right. Shout out to the LDBC.
LDBC, like YMCA, you know?
LDBC, baby.
Yeah. There you go. West Side. All right, guys. We'll catch you soon.